What's good, everybody? Summer like the God Slayer. We're in some more, Conan Exiles, baby. Just want to do a little late night stream. I'm up right now doing my dialysis treatment, and I figured I'd hop into Conan, do some Conan for a little bit. Uh, where am I at in this right now? I am currently, oh yeah, repairing all my tools. The main point of this playthrough is just going to be building my magnum opus. Basically, I'm gonna try to build my most I'm gonna try to build my most grandiose uh I'm gonna need shoot this. I'm gonna try to build my grandiose uh building here. I've built a couple of castles in my time playing Conan Exiles. That's one of the biggest things you do in Conan Exiles is build magnificent castles, and it is dark as all dick out. So we're just gonna work on stuff in the house real quick until daylight comes. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to working on a specific type of build, I'm not really going for a specific build in this playthrough. In terms of I'm not gonna try to limit myself in terms of like my other playthroughs you probably seen. I try to do specific things to like limit myself in combat. I'm not really doing that this time around. Like this build is mainly just to test out, you know, anything that's new that's been going on in Conan since I've been gone. Um, Hopefully I'll be able to see the finishing moves they said they put in the game. Uh, Maybe we'll get to see some of those throughout these different streams. Stuff like that. So there's not gonna be a if I do like switch builds, it'll probably be just to see what the like what the finishing moves are on like the different weapons, like the different types of weapons and stuff. Seeing what those particular builds are, what those weapons kills are, stuff like that. In terms of the battle pass thing, I didn't even know what I unlocked. To be quite honest. Uh, uh, okay, so I got this. All the rest of this stuff is locked behind a paywall. So and I think I still got the crime coins from when they first gave, because they first gave people a set of crime coins, and I haven't bought. I refuse to give them any more of my money in terms of that. So they just gonna have to just all this other stuff is just gonna have to just be whatever it is. I'm not really concerned with all of this anyway. Uh, yeah, okay, yeah, whatever. Okay, so we are where are we at? I need a water well. I will eventually need a water well, but uh, you got horses and stuff like that, so we're good on horses. Uh, I haven't really gotten to the point of getting the Wheel of Pain just yet and all that good stuff, but we've gotten some healing potions and stuff like that together here. That is I know where we can actually farm the alloy, so we're good on that. But today, what my goal is going to be is to gather some meat and level up a little bit, because I think I need to level to get to some better stuff. And I do not understand why I can see that light. I don't understand why I can see that, because that light comes from a god bubble, and usually you can't see those. Usually you can't see those from this far away, because I know where that is. That is, like, if you look at the map, what I'm pointing, that's this guy's stuff. That's gotta be his bubble. That's gotta be his. But how far I am away, I shouldn't be able to see it from his far away. That's just so weird. Like, I shouldn't be able to see it this far. Ooh. Actually, I want to put you in here, like that. There you go. And we'll stick heads in here, like that. Like, what in the hell is it giving me? Yeah, see, like, that's dumb. Like, I jumped up a couple of levels here, but it doesn't really matter because 90% of the shit in here isn't for people who freely play the game. So it's like, well, I don't know. What am I carrying? What am I carrying? Alright. Oh, yeah, I gotta. What am I doing? I'm just asking to die. Okay. Actually, I do want to go this way. Ah, shoot. Hold up. Cause I need plants for my horse. So you're probably wondering, why aren't you taking your horses? Oh shoot. It's because I don't wanna start leveling my horse until I have the proper feed for my horsies. And besides, what I need isn't that far away from me anyway. I don't think it's like it's somewhere near the middle of this place. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to actually put. Okay, I got that there, that there. Okay, yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good. At least for now. Because I haven't found the area that has the plants I need. So they didn't. So they changed it. They changed it from where the shield bash doesn't knock you back anymore, unless it's just bugged. Yeah, unless it's bugged. I don't know. But unless it's bugged, the shield bash don't yeah, come on. Ow. Ow. So unless they change the shield bash where it doesn't push back anymore, which I don't think it does now. Yeah, that's a nerf. That's a nerf to the shield. That pushback was the shit. And I need to come out here now because the what you call it just ended. The storm just ended, so I need to come out here. Cause I need to get as close to the tower as I possibly can without getting too close. Cause the plants that I'm looking for are closer to the tower. So I need to get close to this place, but I don't want to get too close because the closer you get to the tower, the more dangerous things become. Because, like, I think this is, like, these open areas like this. Yeah, this is where you start seeing the plants I'm looking for. And they are not appearing. Unless I gotta get even closer. Maybe. Okay. That's not it. Like, I really gotta be careful getting close to the tower, cause shit start popping up when you start getting close to the tower, cause like stuff starts getting real when you start getting close to the tower. And I'm getting hellified close. Like that whole area over there, that area right there is like a level 60-ish area. I definitely can't go in there because that's all fucked up. Yeah. See, I'm actually right up on the tower now. Yeah, I'm actually right up on it. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Oh yeah, gotta be careful. And the sad, the plants I'm looking for. Where am I? Yeah, see, I'm all out here. I'm all out here. I got time though. I got time because it should take a while for this thing to. That's indigo. But I gotta be careful because there's an area where those sand reapers are at, and I can't afford to fight no sand reaper. More that indigo. Damn. Can't find none of this stuff. He ain't find none of this stuff I'm looking for. Well, I figured they'd be here. Guess not. Or maybe I can find the plants closer to me too. I don't know. I can't pass up fuel. Well, I can't pass up this amount of fuel. I usually wouldn't carry all this, but it's right here. I mean, I'm looking for a Source Glory, and oh shit. Good God. I mean, do that. God damn, how many tigers are there? Good Lord. What is that? You wasn't here last time. Is that a Jebel Sag ruin?
His signs are nigh. Hearken to the whisper at the back of the skull, where reptiles swim in the primal soup. A vague memory rises. A name. An ancient god of darkness and primordial fear, to whom once both men and beasts bowed, and whose children still lurk in the dark corners of the world. Read his name, raggedy and red, Jebal-Sag. Read his name, scribed upon the flesh of prey, Jebal-Sag. Have you seen his signs? In the long ago, the Prince of Beasts ruled all animals, including humankind, and all creatures communed in a common tongue. He once ruled where newer gods now reign. He will reign again when the other gods fall. His return is nigh. The faithful gather and make ready for the sacrament of the hunt. The faithful compete to be his champion. Seek you the gathering? Look to the shadow of the great tower. Look to the southeast. Hearken to the whisper at the back of the skull, where reptiles swim in the primal soup. A vague memory rises. A name. An ancient god of darkness and primordial fear, to whom once both men and beasts bowed, and whose children still lurk in the dark corners of the world.
Okay. So we got a Jabal Sag worshiper right there, screaming the praises of the animalistic one. But we're heading back home because we got a an inventory full of shit, so we need to take this stuff back to the crib. Can't lose sight of what I was wanting to do, and that was level and get food. That was the main goal, was to get a couple of levels here and get some food. Parched. Gotta definitely stay away from that. You gotta stay away from all of that over there, boy. All that is not... That's not the kind of life we want to live right now. Mad Indigo, though. Alright. There's food. Alright. Now that food's going, we can actually... I need to work on that, that's right. Now that food's going, I can actually do that, and then I can come down here and refill my water bottle. Refill my water bottle. Then I'm gonna come back up, eat some food. I hear you. But before I do anything, I gotta come over here. There you go. So my goal is to create a bridge castle, basically. I'm probably going to try to incorporate not only building up here, but also building all the way down to the bottom. I'm not exactly sure the exact shape, but I've got some ideas. Okay. All right, what's okay? All right, what I need to do now, I just need to make sure. Because horses don't necessarily have like horses don't necessarily have like real like defenses. So the idea is instead give them like a large ass health bar, basically. But I need to. But I need to find that in Silver's Glory. I really need to figure out where that stuff is. Because that's going to be the main stuff that's going to basically be like the best stuff for horses. Well, maybe. Because I can't. Maybe. Hold on. Because I don't think. I think there's some. This is right. If this is right, there's actually some. Well, shit. It ain't got dark. If it's right, there's some right around here. So what we'll do is we'll prep for that. But okay, yeah, they're still cooking. This is still cooking. Good. Plenty of food, baby. Plenty of food. Now the goal is to get a crap ton of a Sewer's Glory. Fill both horses up. And then the goal is just to ride the bad boys. Well, use them as like a pack mule and then just run around pack muling. Because the idea is I'm just trying to level the horses, and once I get that, my goal is to level the horses using that food. Be it that even though it's not that big of a deal, it is something that you want to pay attention to, because for one, it heals the fastest outside of all the other foods you can give your horse. And it gives both agility. I think it gives both agility. Or no, it gives both vitality levels and strength levels. You know. I think the only thing that actually gives the most, what gives the most vitality is, if I remember correctly, I think it's the vines. I think it's the vines that give the most vitality, if I'm not mistaken. But while Vines gives the most vitality in terms of like the leveling percentage, it doesn't heal for that much. You know, while Asura's Glory kind of, you know, will kind of heal a lot better. And then on top of that, if you're using your horse properly, your horse shouldn't necessarily be in the thick of battles. Like the one thing I noticed about the dungeons in this game is even though you go one way in the dungeons, like when you start the dungeon, you'll start it at the gate, at the door. You'll go through the dungeon and you'll go out a completely different door, but you'll exit the dungeon at the door, at the actual beginner door. So even though you don't do a complete 360, and even though you don't double back to the door in the dungeon, you you essentially technically do, because when you leave the dungeon, you are outside the front door of the dungeon. There's no actual exit to the dungeon. And so like whenever you're doing dungeons, you can legit park your horse somewhere outside the dungeon, you know. And as long as you have that horse like, you know, on standby, well, on guarding and not so much as scouting, but on guarding, you can go do a whole dungeon and come back out, and your horse will be there waiting on you. You know, 'cause that's one thing I remember about those dungeons is even though it's a straight line in terms of you go from the front of the dungeon to the back of the dungeon, and you exit out the back, but even though you exit out the back, when you appear in the game again in the game world, you're appearing right in front of the front door again. So, you know. So in terms of like, and anywhere else in the world, your horse shouldn't really be taking massive damage like that. So, necessarily speaking, your horse shouldn't necessarily need a ridiculous amount of HP. But you know, Asura's Glory is basically it's the prime pick for horse food if you really want horse food. Now, if my info is correct, there is a bunch of it over here. So I really didn't have to go that far out. But if my info is correct, there should be a bunch of it back this way. Murder. 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 Yeah. Okay, calm down. Came out swinging. Okay. Ah, here we are, yeah. Here we are. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, so yeah, my info was correct. Oh, there's alloy down here too. Oh man, there's all kind of shit down here. Sweetwater Lake. Oh yeah. Oh, there's vines down here too. Well, that's an archer. All right, we don't want to deal with that. Okay, I didn't think vines would be this close. Honestly speaking, we might be able to actually give them a vine diet. At least I know where I can start farming my. I know where I can actually start farming my what's called too. I can actually start farming my. So what I can do is I can actually raise them on the vines, and then I can just keep the Asura's glory as their normal food. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So the Asura's glory will be their normal food, and I'll raise them on the vines. Yeah, 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 yeah. See, we'll raise them on the vines. Say. I'm gonna need you to just go to sleep. All right. Just one shot there. I hope you guys have been enjoying the streams lately. I know I've been taking it to an old school vibe for a while. I've been playing a lot of old school games, but that's because man, I've been really like not feeling modern gaming right now. Like it's really been pissing me off, especially with how they did my absolute favorite game, Tekken. How they butchered that game. So I've been really needing oh shoot, hold on. I've been really needing a inventory. All right, we gonna stick. There we go. I've been really needing some time to that way. Heavy coin purse, huh? That way, that way. Maybe some more health potions. This way. That way. That way. Hey. You did. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Alright, and then give that a little twirl. Give this a little twirl. Do that. Give me all of this. Alright. I got a decent amount of food. Got a decent amount of food. And I'll just take this stack of shredded ropes with me and just have it on me. And that'll be my food for when I travel. Alright, while that's cooking, let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here. 28. 28. Alright, we're not gonna... Let me see, what else? Okay, next will be vitality that we'll get up to the second bar, but for right now we're not going to do anything with that yet. We are instead going to... oh yes, fluid press. Definitely need this. Definitely need that. Okay, now I just need to figure out how to make it. Oh, never mind. I got this. All right. $50, $10, and $10. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. So what I need? I need bark. That's what I need. I need bark. Well, actually, well, no, because they'll eat the bark. I don't want him to eat the bark. So we want him to go on our feet. So I was like, I can actually just load him up with bark, but I was like, no, because then he'll eat it. Don't want them eating none of the bark. But yeah, when it comes to Tekken, man, like I said, I don't know. Like I'll probably be back in Tekken. I don't know. Like right now, I know I'm definitely not coming back to Tekken. But if they can change it, if they can make some decent changes and actually make Tekken, you know, and if they can actually do the changes where where Tekken plays like a Tekken game and not playing like Street Fighter or something like that. Like, because right now Tekken is all about super moves and all these hyper moves and stuff, and like Tekken's never been that way. Like Tekken is the spiritual successor to Virtual Fighter, and it don't play like it, And it's like, they had the formula, together for like what almost 10 games, and then all of a sudden they want to flip the script. Gotta jump you. I'm sorry. I gotta jump you, bro. Sorry, I had to jump you. I had to jump you. I saw you. I saw you fighting. And I had to jump you. It was too good. Had to jump you. All right. there's another one of you somewhere. Yeah. Ah. Unresponsive ass controls. Okay. Excuse my pauses and my strains of my sounds of straining. I got a belly full of liquid right now, so it's a little rough. Breathing feels a little stiff, all that good stuff. So just bear with me when during times like these. Lots of dogs in this area. Yep, I knew it. What the fuck is going on here? How did I hit him? He was nowhere near me. So I'm saying, like, this game is like so broken, dude. Like, for all of the shit that they try to sell you, this game is broken. They try to sell you all this stuff. Yet the game itself is like broke as all shit. And people just cool with it. You know, that's the reason why I know it's not gonna ever get fixed. Because the fan base is like completely fine with it. Like, nobody is giving a shit that this game is utterly like unbalanced and broken to all hell. And you know, getting nickel and dime doesn't seem to be a problem. You know, and if it is, it sure as hell isn't the majority of the fan base that's making the noise. I hear you. Oh, there you are. And then, of course, because you have people who like, I was just having this conversation with my best friend where people have gotten to the point to where, like, people have gotten in this mindset of accepting things. Like, we've gotten into this mindset of just accept things as they are. Like, oh man, microtransactions are in the game. Accept it. You know, games are coming out broken before, games are coming out at full price, but they're broken on release. Just accept it. It's just the way things are. Like that's where we've gotten as a consumer base, and until we get out of that, we're gonna always get treated like shit. We're gonna always get treated like shit, and it's hilarious because we're walking around angry. Why they treat us like this? Why corporations treat us this way? Because you allow us to. Because we allow ourselves to. And I'm saying we, like me involved. Like, because again, if I am a consumer just like you, so I'm a part of this. Like, we allow them to treat us this way, But if, oh shit, okay, there you go. Okay, Okay. Yeah, you almost had me. You almost had me, but I was too fast for you. I don't know what that was, but like you know, yeah, we allow them, man. We allow that shit to happen. Like we don't stand up for our right. Like the only time we'll stand up for our consumer rights is if like the sin is like super egregious. But that's the problem, is we're not nipping shit in the bud while it's light. We're waiting until shit get real bad, and then we'll turn around and be like, oh no, we gotta stop this. And what that does is, and I like to give certain things that I see names, especially certain conditions when it comes to the human condition. And I've been thinking about it. I've been trying to figure out what I want to name this. There may be an actual clinical name for it, but I don't know it. But like, if I was just explaining what it is, we do this thing where we don't react to anything except the major stuff. Like we allow the small things to get by. And then, you know, and we don't react to any of it. And the only thing we react to is the big stuff. And so we end up in this situation where we're only like, I guess you could call it major sin reactors. I guess you could say, I don't know. Like, it's like we're only willing to react to things that are like blatant. But that's the thing. The only reason why things become blatant is because we allow the small stuff. Like if they knew they couldn't get away with the small shit, they wouldn't even attempt this big shit that they do. You know what I mean? Like if they knew, okay, yeah, if we try to put, like for instance, when Conan, using Conan as an example, when Conan Exiles decided that they were going to go off of the DLC way of doing things, and they were going to go to the battle pass, right? First and foremost, 90% of the shit in the battle pass, we should be able to just earn in game. Like they should be like prizes for the end of dungeons. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these end dungeon chests that we have, some of these end dungeon chests should have, you know, the top-notch loot in it. You know, like you should be rewarded for playing the game, not for spending more money than your base price that you paid to play the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, it starts small, and you know, and it was a genius thing with Conan Exiles, because what they did was they gave you the ability to build gigantic, great, cool ass castles, and they knew that it wouldn't be the hardcore player base that would stay here in this game. Like when it comes to hardcore survivals, you want to play a hardcore survival game, Scum is the game for you. Like I will say that now, like Scum is the game if you want to play a hardcore survival. I haven't seen a survival game more hardcore than Scum. If you want to play a survival game, Scum is it. But like they masked a building cash cow behind a survival game, and that's what's so messed up about how Funcom did Conan, because Conan's lore was perfect for a survival game. It was perfect for a survival game, and the survival in this game should be far more brutal than what it is. And what I mean by far more brutal is like the survival mechanics should be far more brutal than what it is. Like it's far too easy to obtain, you know, it's far too easy to go from nothing to livable, to where you're not like right now I'm no longer in survival mode. You see what I'm saying? I'm only level 28, and I'm not in survival mode. And mind you, even though this has been a couple of days worth of, well, this ain't a couple of days worth of work. Even though this has only been like stream 3, I'm only on stream 3 of playing this particular play. But if I was to do all this in one, if I was like doing this in all one sitting, it would only be a couple of hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours. From starting my character to this point right here, probably 2-3 hours. You know, in like 2 or 3 hours, you can go from nothing to no longer surviving. Now at this point, you're just collecting and gathering and whatnot like that. Like there's no actual surviving going on. You know, and Scum is one of those games that's like it's very different. Like no matter how long you played Scum, survival is going to be a constant struggle. Now, I mean, there will be certain things that'll be easier because of their knowledge of the game. I don't expect it to be a hardcore survival 24%, no, 25, no, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's going to get easier because you're going to know things about the game the longer you play. But there are no what's what I'm looking for? There are no factors that are constantly at play that constantly like put you in a state of death is possible, you know. Like natural death is possible. Like for instance in Conan, there's no such thing as a bad water source. Like any water source that I come across in this game, I can drink from. Any water source, doesn't matter which one. Any water source. So what happens is, since any water source is usable, right? I basically have access to infinite water because every water source in a radius of me is usable. There's not a single water source in this game that is like off limits or dangerous to me. And that makes, I'll show you what I mean. All of this water makes survival easy. All of this water right here, all these little blue patches, none of this is poisonous water. None of this is bad water. Right? It's all decent, normal water. None of it's bad. None of it's poisonous. None of it's, you know, like in Scum, you can only drink water from flowing rivers. If you try to drink water from like a still lake, it's stagnant, still water. So the water is bad. You'll get sick from it. You know, in this game, doesn't matter. Lake, sea, pond, doesn't matter. Water's water. You know, and so since there's so much access to the water, right? I mean, in this game, you can even, you know, again, because there's so much access to the water, right? And then on top of that, on top of the access to the water, you have, if we look at, when do you first get access to the well? To basically create your own water. There it is. You get access to a water well at 25. Once you're level 25, you get access to the ability of making your own water. You know, so, and again, the max level in this game is 60. I think it's 60. So it's like, you get the ability to totally negate where you live in terms of like water at 60. And then on top of that, like, everything can be made into food. Like with a butcher, with the butcher's cleaver, you can chop a human being up and eat him as human flesh. I mean, of course, cannibals existed in Conan, so I understand why they would do that. But like, there's nothing that can't be turned into food. And then on top of that, they even let me see if they actually did. I don't want to lie about this. Is there a perk? Is there still a perk that allows you to eat food even though it's rotten? Let me see. Now that shit's crazy. structures you build are 25% more stable. So naturally you would want one person in your clan to max out expertise. And he will be the one, or basically, yeah, he will be the one that will be responsible for building everything. Just because of this. Because 25% more stable buildings, that's ridiculous. Like, I look at that as more health. That's what I looked at it as health. Oh, is there... Okay, so I think they got rid of it. I think they got rid of the one where, like, when you eat, you can eat food that's rotten. I think they got rid of it. Okay, so at least they didn't keep that. Because, like that would literally totally negate you having to even cook. Like it's wild. I mean, we already get access to things like freezers and shit like that that basically make food infinite. You know? And again, something like that in Scum, man, shit. You'll be lucky. You'll be lucky to find any way of like holding food down like that. You know, like, you know, and again, I'm not trying to say that Scum's a better game than this one. Conan is what it is, but my thing is Conan sold us on something that it didn't hold up to. That's my thing. You know, Conan sold us on something that it didn't live up to. You know, and that's my problem with a lot of these. That's my problem with a lot of these big games. Is they constantly selling us on shit that they're not. You know, like, because again, Conan was supposed to be this hardcore survival game, and it started off decent, and we were all trying to give them time to, you know, fill out the blanks or whatever. You know, the game was in early access. The game been in early access for like most of its lifespan. But then it was like they got a whiff of that bread, man, and they were like, nah. You know, and I don't want to believe it's all just Funcom. I do believe it's also more than likely a part of the publisher's fault that they backed with. But it's like, you know, what can you do when, you know, like what like when you turn your game into a, you know, when you turn your game into a builder with nothing but a battle pass on top of it, like there used to be a time, man. Let me tell you what Conan used to be. There used to be a time, and you gotta remember when they did this. They took all the servers and they squished them together. All of the official servers, they squished them together because there wasn't that many. No, there wasn't people populating the servers, so they squished all the servers together. I'm playing on an official server, right? And yeah, it's late at night. I ain't gonna lie, it's late. It's like 3, 4 in the morning right now. You know, I know most of you people who are watching are like probably watching this around like anywhere between 8, 9 in the morning to maybe like 9, 10 at night. Y'all not watching this at the time I'm recording, you know, at the time I'm streaming. But I remember a time when even during this time of day, you would go into the player list and this bitch would be filled. This bitch would be filled up. 13, 14, 15 people on. I mean, hell, there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's at least 16 people. Yeah, about 16. There's at least 16, 17 people. There's at least 16, 17 people on this server. But most of the time when I'm playing on this server, there may be 1 or 2 on outside of myself. At the max I've seen is like 4 people on. Whether it be midday, late night, early morning. Like, and this is an official server. And again, like they bunched all the servers together because their servers were too empty and they couldn't justify having them all on. So they had to squish them down. And even squished down, servers are like dead. You know. And from what I know, PvP is even worse. The PvP servers are even worse. And again, it's one of those things where it's like, come on, man, like you can't you can't you can't tell me that people left because the game was old. There's no way that people left this game because it was old. For one, there's not many games that have the Conan aesthetic. So, I know it's not that. It's got, and so it coincides with when the game changed its focus from being a survival game to being more of a builder with microtransactions. That's when all of a sudden the player base died out, and the only ones that stayed were the builders. And it soon became a game where only the builders populated the servers. And then you started getting shit like this. You started seeing builders pop up on PvP servers. Like the last PvP server me and Snake was on, the one where me and him, we 2v8. We went 2v8 against an alpha clan. And we fought them for like 2 months, just going back to back with each other. They were not liking the fact that only 2 dudes were able to keep up with them raid style or whatever. They did not like that shit too. It was they were not happy about it. But like those days, like we started seeing a lot of builders start popping up on PvP servers, like in the server that we were on when we were fighting that Alpha Clan. Most of the people on that server were all builders. Most of the people in that server were all builders, and because again, when it comes down to what happened to us on that server, I partially blame the builders on that server. And I'm not trying to say that, casuals in this game are what ruined the game or anything like that. But what happened to us happened because of the fact that most of the people on that server were builders. They weren't there for combat. They weren't there for PvP. And so what happened was this. Everybody was kumbaya. So me and Snake are like, okay, we're going to go ahead and use this peaceful time to just load up. We're gonna play nice with everybody, and we're just gonna load up on bombs. Cause back then it took a minute to get ready to actually be raid ready. It took a minute. Like you needed to you get your arsenal of bombs and stuff up. It took a while, especially when it was just 2 guys. One of them had one of them worked, and and one of us worked, and the other one the other one didn't at the time. So it was like it was one of those things where we had limited resources and limited time to get things done, and so we were taking our time and we were building. I mean, we built too, but we had shit, and then not only did we build, but then we went and did recon afterwards. We did recon. Like me and Snake, when we play on PvP, like I really want us to be able to do another PvP server run, because I really want y'all to see how we get down. Like, when we played Conan, dude, we got down. Like, it wasn't no game with us. Like, when we went in, like in Conan, what we would do is, and we would do this. We would strip naked. Like, we would get a horse. Like, if we had horses, we would strip naked. Now, sometimes we didn't even use horses, but like, horse or not, what we would do is we would strip butt naked. We would take everything off. We would have nothing on. Nothing in our inventories. Nothing. And we would ride around the map. And we would wait until it's pitch dark out. We would wait until it's dark out. And we would ride around the map. And what we would do is, wherever I would ride around the map. And whenever I found a base, I would ride up to the base. I would ride up to it. And then what we would do is this. The only thing we would carry with us is a repair hammer. And the reason why is because if you hold the repair hammer out, you can go up to a base and you can see the name of the base. You can see the owner and the name of the clan in the base, right? What we would do is we would walk up to the base. I would see the name of the base. I would open my map and wherever I am on the map, I would then right click, I would add a marker in the name of the base. And I would do that all over the map. I would go all over the map scouting. Me and him would do that. Go all over the map scouting. I would give him my marks. He would give me his marks. And by the time it was all said and done, we knew where everybody on the server was. We knew where you lived. And so what it did was this. Because like what people would do is in here, if you don't speak in the chat, your name won't show up. It'll just be a bunch of question marks. So they won't know who you are as long as you don't speak in the chat. And what it does is it kind of keeps people from trying to target you, I guess. But it didn't matter because we already knew where everybody was. So even if we didn't know who you were, we more than likely knew where your base was. It didn't matter. But we would do that. And then what we would do is we would just wait. Stock up and wait. And what we would do is we would wait until people talked in the chat. And when they would talk, what I would do is while they were talking, because I knew that once you started speaking in the chat, it's going to bring your name up. And then when it did, it's going to bring up your clan name. And what I would do is I would write down all the clan names from all the different clans I found on the map. I would write them all down. And then every time somebody speak, I would take their name. I would see their name, see their clan. I'd write their name under that clan. And that's how I began to know who was in which clan. That's how we used to do that shit. Man, we had this shit down to a science. Then once it was all said and done and we knew who was who and who belonged to who and where they were, at that point, that's when we knew, okay, now we're just going to wait and we're going to see how people in this server act. We're going to see how people in the server act. And for a long time, the server was chill. It was chill for so long that me and Snake started saying, okay, you know what? It doesn't seem like people here really want no business, even though this is a PvP server. But we didn't want to be dicks. We didn't want to just go around ruining people's day. So we were like, okay, but we do want PvP. So how about we do this? I was like, Snake, let's build a Coliseum. Let's me and you come together. And, because they all knew we were raiders. And so they were all worried about us raiding. They were like, y'all came from another PvP server. Like, yeah, we came from another PvP server. That's all we do is raid. So they were kind of worried about us, raiding them, but it was like, we're not here to grief nobody though. We were just here thinking that there might be some raiding going on, but since there really ain't no raiding going on, what we'll do is we'll open up a Coliseum. We'll build a big ass Coliseum. And what we'll do is, because by this time we had already killed all the bosses in the game. We had already had like tons of loot. And we were going to build a Coliseum. Now, what happened was a girl named Marchesa came in and started raiding somebody. And so they was like, well, I got raided by this girl named Marchesa. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, so there is a raider here. Then Marchesa hit us. And so I'm like, so she want the smoke. So me and Snake, I wish I had my old account. I had another account a long time ago, and I actually recorded this shit. This was back when I first started YouTube. I wasn't really good at this. But, like, we waited until the dead of night. We found where she was. Waited till the dead. We found where she was, too. And she was hidden. She was hidden well. Like, if you remember, and this was on, it's not on this map. It was on the original Exiles map. And if you remember the original Exiles map, there was those big black monuments that you could go inside of them. They were like square monuments. They were square, big ass tall buildings, and you can go inside of them, but they were only like a square. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like a big building. It was like a square. Well, she hid herself in one of those, and she used like black ice as her clog to clog the hole, so you couldn't really tell where the entrance was if you weren't really looking. But we found her in one of those, and we blew her shit up, came in there, killed all her thralls, took everything, left her with nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like, when we raid people, we raid them to nothing. Like, we blow up every single tile, every single block you own. We destroy everything that has their name on it. Because the idea is, I want to deplete you down to absolute nothing, so that you don't have a chance to re-up fast. I don't want you to be able to just wake up like, oh shoot, they raided me. Let me go to my stations and get the crafting. Nah. you're gonna have to rebuild all them stations back up. You're gonna have to get all your shit back. So it's like, we rated her to like zilch, nothing. After we got done doing that, and we successfully showed that we did it, everybody in the server is now like, oh shit. And so I was thinking to myself, we proved ourselves as raiders now. So I was like, Snake, why don't we do this? I was like, why don't we become mercenaries? We'll be cool on this server, but the way it works is we'll be the ones to raid the people that grieve. That way we get our PvP fix without being dicks, right? So we agreed to do that. And, you know, things was cool. You know, we were getting, you know, they were paying tribute. People were paying tribute to keep us on the good side, you know. And, you know, everything was cool. Everything was great. Then this Alpha Clan came. Now, this Alpha Clan has been here for a long time. They were here for a while, but they had went dormant for a long time. So I'm guessing these guys must have relogged back onto their accounts and seen, oh shit, there's people active in this server now. And hold on, what's all this kumbaya going on? And so the next thing you know, this Alpha group pops up, and it's like, at first they're like 4 or 5 deep. By the time we get through fighting with them, because like they raided us the first time, we started talking shit back and forth, and the next thing you know, we're in an all-out war. We're in an all-out war that's so bad that anybody that even talks like they cool with us is getting hit. Like, these guys are hitting everybody who's cool with us. Like, they're like, that's how bad it's getting. Like, people are just catching strays left and right. Now, mind you, we didn't know where their base was. They were like, because they were brand new, so we hadn't found their base location yet. Now, we're telling everybody the entire time we're on the defense, because these guys are like 8 deep, and what they're doing is they've got guys who they gather all day, and so like they got 4 or 5 people who are gathering all day, so they're able to amass weaponry and amass resources 3-4 times as fast as us. So when they hit us on day 1, they were already ready to hit us again day 2, you know. And so we're having to do things like sneak in our hits. We have to like hold out while we're trying to gather our materials to hit them again. We're having to withstand their attacks while we're trying to gather. So it's rough. Like, it's getting rough because we having to spend all of our non-PvP hours just getting shit done. Because once PvP comes, we know we're going to be on the defensive that whole time. So, but this whole time we're telling people, hey, put them feelers out. Because we're too busy trying to defend our own bases and our own base. So we're telling people, hey, get them feelers out there. Go run around and look for this base. Look for a base. Look for a base. Because all we need is a base. Because we can't hit nothing that we don't know. We don't know where the target is. So we're like, oh, go look for a base. Nobody can find shit for us. These motherfuckers, we ended up fighting them for like a whole 2 months. And they ended up running so many people off the server. Like, they ran off all of the people on the server. And by the time it was all said and done, only 2 people were left. Only 2 people on the server were left. And it was the one server being where like people were cool. Like, people were actually cool. We were actually planning events and shit. Like, it was a cool server, man. And people don't get that all because the server is PvP doesn't mean the server needs to be a bad server. You know, all because, yeah, we're here to PvP each other doesn't mean we have to be assholes to each other. There's a way to be there's a way to do PvP servers without everybody being cold-hearted and evil and mean and whatnot. But like in Conan, you had to be back then because there was no rhyme, there was no rules, there was no rules and regulations to the PvP, and not only that, but there was nothing to keep us from PvPing each other. You see, in Scum, there's PvP as well. Like, there's open PvP just like in this game. But the difference between Scum and this game is, in Scum, you got a lot to lose when you die. And it's very, very easy to die. Like, one shot to the head, because, like, Scum is, like, it's a modern game. So it's got, like, guns and shit in it. And one shot to the head can kill you. Whereas in this game, one cleave with a great sword should kill you, but it doesn't. You see what I mean? Like, This game isn't as realistic as that game. So when a person comes across you in PvP, or if he comes across you, even though his first thought might be, I might need a PvP, it's not going to be his first action. His first action is going to be, hey man, you good? We alright? We straight? Because he don't want to risk. He don't want to risk it. Because in that game, a single injury can put you back hours in real life. Like, you get hurt in that game, you can get hit by, like, because there's zombies in that game. You can get hit once by a zombie, and you're going to have to deal with that injury. Like, you can't just let that injury fester, because it'll just get worse and worse and worse until you get sick and you end up dying. So, nobody wants to go into a PvP match unless it's absolutely necessary. You know, so people will be like, hey, look, man, you good? We good? We straight? All right, man, look. You know, you go your way, I go mine. You know, I don't want no problems. But in Conan, there's no such thing as that high of a risk. So everybody's itching to take from each other because there's not that big of a risk involved. And so it's like, you know, there's no natural risk involved, should I say. So it's one of those things where you find those dickish people. And it took everybody getting kicked off the server. It took everybody running off of the server or getting ran out the server, except for like maybe one or two people. And those one or two people finally gave us a location. It was like, you know, and that was before they were leaving. They were like, we're leaving the server because we're just tired of all the mess and all the drama. But before I leave, I want to give you, I'm gonna give you a location where I found their base. And so my thing is like, why'd you wait? Why'd y'all wait this long? And then y'all waited until these motherfuckers fought and pushed everybody off the server, right? Pushed everybody off the server except us. And you gonna wait until now to want to find their location and give it to us. And by the time they showed us the location, this place was fortified. When I say fortified, like you see these squares on the ground, right? And you see like this is a whole block right here, right? Let me okay. Like for instance, you see that's a whole block right there. You see that red, right? That's a whole block, right? So you see the cross inside here, this cross, right? Well, there's these fence foundations that you can put on these cross lines, right? Or you can put them on the edge. It's supposed to go on the edges of the square, but you can actually put them inside the cross lines. They had fence foundations this way. Then they had put a block up. Then on that block, fence foundations this way. It's called honeycombing, and it's not supposed to be able to be done. It's actually a glitch. It's not supposed to be done in this game. But again, Funcom never officially patched it out of the game. You can still get buildings to honeycomb like that. And when a building honeycombs that way, what it does is it turns one block, like for instance, honeycombing is usually done on these kind of blocks, right? On these foundations. And honeycombing can turn like this block. Is what? This block's health is, what is the block's health? 10,000. Honeycombing can turn this one block of 10,000 into a health wall of like 50. A single block can be 50,000. Because what happens is, like, for instance, if I threw a bomb and blew up this is going to share damage with the door and with the wall. So if I hit, even though I put the bomb on this, it's going to spread the damage between this, the wall, and the door. So if I have fence foundations, if I got 1-2 fence foundations, then another block that's connecting this on top of that, and I just connect it like that, it spreads so much, it spreads damage between so many different pieces that it'll take forever to destroy it. So, and they honeycomb the entire base that way. So it was like, okay, the only way we could destroy it was through gods. And that's what we ended up doing. We ended up using 2 gods to bust it open and whatnot. But like, and that was before we decided to quit. You know, that was like the last time, I believe. That's the last time Snake and I did any real major PvP, because that was a long 2 months, man. It was a long 2 months, because again, we were heavily outnumbered and outgunned, and I mean we did very well, considering like we made them. By the time it was all said and done, we made them so scared that they were putting like landmines around their house, around their base. Like they were terrified of us being near them. You know, they were putting landmines around their base and everything. Like they were not happy with us being anywhere near them at all. You know, because for all the shit they talked, whenever we met in PvP, they never were able to beat us. Like, oh yeah, they did a bunch of building blowing up and stuff like that, and they did a bunch of laughing and joking. But whenever we went blade to blade, whenever we ended up in PvP together, oh nah, they wasn't winning this. Like there was one point when Snake had basically he was at work, and there was a night that I was home by myself, and I was just dealing with because the way we had built our base, we had built it to where it had 2 exits, and it had 1 exit down at the end. It wasn't here, it was at a different place, but I'm using this place as an example. It was like 1 exit that way, 1 exit this way, but it was a long ass hallway. And what we did was we built gateways. We built like 2 or 3 gates this way. Then we had the main opening in the base that was all base. And then we built 2 or 3 gates coming from that end back towards this area. So basically, on both sides of the actual base, the base was locked in by 8 gates altogether, 4 on each side. And what Snake did was he locked me into one side of the base on one of the days, because he knew I would probably get hit while he was at work. So what he did was he was like, okay, tonight I'm gonna break this whole side of the base in. There's only gonna be one way in, one way out, you know. Because he was like, I don't want you to get stuck in here, but at the same time, you know, he's like, I want you to get away. I want you to have a way out just in case, but I'm gonna lock you in here though, on one side. And so it's like, it got to the point to where, like, they came like 6 deep, because it was like 3 of them, and all 3 of them had a thrall with them. So it was like 6, almost 7 deep. I want to say there was a 4th player, but I know for a fact there was 3 of them. There were 3 players, you know. And so they came in, but the way we had our base set up, it's like a death trap. Because when you walk, because I knew they were gonna blow the gates up. So I was like, okay, they're gonna try to blow through the gates, because the gates is the weakest part of the wall. Because like we made walls out of nothing but foundations. We didn't make normal walls like these. We made walls of foundations. That's what they were. So they would have to go through like 50,000 health per foundation, which is just, it's obscene. They're not gonna do that. So they're gonna go for the gate instead. So what I did is I had a whole inventory. I had like 15 gates on me. I had like 15 some odd gates. And so I'm literally walking around with hundreds of thousands of health in terms of like building power. So what I did was I would just wait, and I have like you know how you can like place an item down. What I did was I had the gate item already up and ready to be placed. And when they would blow the gate open, I immediately put the gate up. So they would see the gate disappear and see it reappear again. And that's a whole nother 50 grand. That's a whole nother 50,000 you gotta burn through. Well, actually, those gates I believe were 100,000. That's a whole nother 100,000 HP you gotta burn through. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make them burn through their bombs. I'm trying to make them waste all their bombs. Now, mind you, it got to a point to where they were able to just blow through. They just did. And I ended up having to PvP all 3 of them. And the way I was PvPing them was, we had like 12 or 13 Sumerian Berserkers, which are like the second strongest thralls in the game. And we had multiple of them leveled up to max. And they were built to destroy. They were built to do like 2 hits and you die. This was back when thralls were dumb strong. You know, I'm not exactly sure how nerfed they are now, but this was back when a properly leveled berserker could two-shot you. And so we had like 14 of these motherfuckers, like 14, 15 of them almost. And like 4 of them were highly leveled. And most of them were decently geared. So what I did was I made sure I put on a, and if you'll know a PvPer when you see them, because they'll have on good armor everywhere else except their head, because their headpiece will be a gas mask. It'll be a sandstorm mask. Why? Because these motherfuckers will more than likely throw bombs and gas bombs and shit like that at you. So like, I got gas mask on. The thralls that I'm using got gas mask on. We're ready. We're ready to go. And these guys keep coming in there trying to fight, but they couldn't stay and fight for long, because whenever they would come through the door to attack me, they would start getting jumped by like 13, 14 Zerkers. So they couldn't stay in there and fight me for long. You know, and what it did was it gave me enough breathing room to be able to reset my health with healing, things like that. You know, it gave me all the time I needed to be able to defend myself. And of course, you know, they wanted to talk shit. You hide behind them thralls. I'm like, dude, it's like 6v1. You expect me to just open my legs and take it? Nah, that's not how that's gonna go. You know, but like, what's funny, you know, what I was laughing at them about was, regardless of the fact that I'm using these thralls, dude, it's 6 of y'all. It's 6 of y'all. It's 3 players and three thralls. One of y'all had a Beastmaster Tamos, and for some reason, y'all can't kill me. Y'all can't even get a lucky shot in to kill me. Not you or your thralls. You know, and it's just me, or me and this small ass army. But I'm the only actual player here. You know. And, you know, of course, that just made them hit us even more often, even harder, because they got embarrassed by the whole server not being able to take down one dude. You know, and then by the time it was over and they all left, by the time Snake got home and got back on the game, he didn't even know that the raid had happened, because I had repaired everything within that time. It was like maybe, you know, the raid took about like an hour and a half. In terms of like how long I had been fighting them. I had been fighting them for like maybe an hour and a half. But it didn't take them but like maybe 20 minutes to get the base back to the point to where you couldn't even tell we got raided. Like, that's how little damage they did. And, you know, even Snake was like, dude, you actually get raided for? Are you lying? I was like, nah, man, I got the video right here. I showed him the video. He was like, yeah, you did get raided, dude. We did get raided. But he was like, I can't tell by the house. I was like, yeah. Like, again, that's when we knew that these guys we knew they weren't raiders. We knew they were griefers. Because it's like, when it comes down to the actual combat, y'all don't know how to tactically do anything. Like, even there was another time when Snake was actually with me at the house, and we were inside our home, and this is how itchy Snake was. Snake was like really itchy. He was really itchy for combat. We're in the middle of like doing stuff. I'm like in the middle. Like, let's say I'm in one of these like cause like this would be a perfect example. Cause like let's say this is the door. Let's say this is the door coming out of the workshop, but then there's a door coming down, and you go this way a little bit, and there's a door that leads outside, right? That actually outside. So Goot and them, that's the guy's name. The guys from Glyph, they're talking crazy. They're talking crap, and we're going back and forth, whatever. But I'm inside of one of these like workshops, and Snake is standing like over here to my right, and we hear explosion outside. Dude, the moment that explosion goes off, Snake does this. He immediately runs outside. Like, he immediately runs outside. Like, he don't wait. He don't ask what the hell. None of that. He immediately runs outside. So I'm like, okay, it's going down. So me and him, you know, he's already got a follower on follow. I went, grabbed a follower, put him on follow, ran outside real quick, By the time I get to the front door, the front gate that leads outside, by the time I get there, I see him already doing a power swing. He kills one of them. One of the dudes already. A dude named Dilkme. He ended up death. He died. The moment he died, I'm like, okay, yeah, Snake's in. He's all the way in. Snake's all the way in. So I go outside. Now at this point, there's two people outside. There's a dude named Silk Tricky, and there's another dude named Goon. Now Silk Tricky is apparently their leader, but Goon is the one that's like been the biggest antagonist. Now Goon's naked. He's ass naked, and he's got a bear's pack on his back. And the reason why he's naked is because he's carrying nothing but bombs. He's basically the designated bomb carrier. So he's running around like a chicken with his head cut off because he can't afford to be getting hit by us. Because we're all wearing, we're all level 60. We're all level 60. Everybody here in this fight is level 60. So, we're all carrying weapons that can two-shot him and shit like that while he ain't got no armor on like that. So he's running around like a chicken with his head cut off. And Silk Tricky he's in all Godbreaker shit, and he's talking shit or whatever, trying to fight. So Silk Tricky get his ass killed. Now the problem, this is where I know these guys weren't raiders. They were stupid. Again, they're griefers. They're not raiders. Because a raider would have known, because what we did was when we built those gates, remember I told you about those 8 gates, right? When we built those gates, we also built a big ass wall. Because like on the old Exile, on the Exile Lands map, there was this big ass building, this big ass black building that you could walk through. It was like a pathway that led from one part of the map to the other part of the map. And we built inside of that place because you can't guard that place. No god can get inside of it. So we built inside of there, and we built the gates inside of there. So you got 4 gates on each side, and you got our base in the middle. But the whole thing is covered by this building that's literally built on the actual map. It's actually a part of the map. But outside of that, on the back end, there's a gate. We built this big ass wall, high ass wall. We built it like 10. We built it like 10 blocks high. How this is built only 4 or 5 blocks high. This thing was built like 10 blocks. It was high. It was big. And at the top we had fence foundations, so you couldn't climb up it anymore. Like if you came in, you couldn't climb back out. These motherfuckers, they jumped over it because you can't go through the gate unless you blow it up. But they thought they were gonna be sneaky ninjas and jump over it quietly, and then they was gonna blow up our doors. But what they didn't think that we would just come rushing outside to fight them. And so what happened was they got stuck in there because they couldn't go through the base because they would get stuck inside the base. So they had to fight us out there in that kill box. It was basically like a kill box, and they got stuck in that kill box. And again, Dilkme died at the door because when Snake opened that door, he opened that door swinging. He came out swinging with this big ass warhammer. Killed Dilkme, like 2 shots. Damn, Dilkme gone. Alright. After that, he goes straight after Silk Tricky. And while he's chasing Silk Tricky, I got Goon in my sights. And so Goon's running around in circles. He can't fight me. He knows he can't fight me because he doesn't have anything. He's naked. So he's running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Now, at this point in time, Snake's over here dealing with Trick, and he's putting Trick out. And at this point, their horses have died. They have died. And when you die in that game, you lose everything that's on you. You wake up butt naked. Now, what they thought they were going to do is they thought they were going to be smart. We're just going to lay down, because you can't build on somebody else's house. So they had to build their spawn points, their beds. They had to make them outside of that gate. So when they died inside, they lost everything that they came in with. Horses, bombs, everything. We killed all 3 of them, basically. We killed all 3 of them, and they were forced to leave everything behind. Because they couldn't jump back over that wall and try to fight again. They didn't have nothing. But we took everything, went back inside, patched everything back up, and we told everybody on the server, man, they try to come over here and raid us. and they got sent home naked. You know, it was a 2v. It was a 2v. It was like 2v5. You know, it was like a 2v5, and they got sent home. Everybody in the chats laughing at them. You know, pointing and laughing at them, basically. Because these guys have been running around causing problems all day. So people were happy to see these guys get their one-uppers. But after that day, they started hitting everybody on the server. Indiscriminately. Just giving it to everybody. They got embarrassed so bad that they wanted everybody in the server to pay. And it got to the point to where, you know, because nobody would truly back us, because we were telling everybody, hey, look, man, y'all back us, and we can make them pay. Like, we've shown that we're good at this. We've shown we can make this happen. But we need help because we're outgunned. Like, we need more help than what we've been getting. And they were just too, I don't know, maybe they didn't want to deal with the problem of it. Maybe they didn't want the headache, but nobody was willing, man. Nobody was willing to truly dig in and make these guys suffer, you know. And so we ended up fighting an entire. We're on a PvP server, but we're taking on an Alpha Clan by ourselves, while there's a bunch of people spectating this from other clans who want these guys gone as just as bad as we do, you know. You know, and nobody is willing to step up and help. You know, and it's like, that's the problem when you I say all this whole big ass story to show you that that's the problem when you have a game where it was sold to be one way, but then they made it another. Because now you got people who are going into these PvP servers and they're not here for that problem. They're not here for the PvP problems. And so when it comes time to take care of something like a Alpha Clan, to try and keep the server, you know, in a decent, you know, to try and keep the server in a decent realm of fun, and try to, you know, because this Alpha Clan, they did not care about making things fun for anybody. They wanted to grief people. They wanted to give you a bad day. It was like, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you could do to defend against it because nobody was willing to fight. Nobody was willing to fight. But you're here on the server in which you're expected to fight. You know, but I can see why you're here though. Because the game, even though the game was supposedly marketed to be a PvP survival game, that's not what it's been marketed as of late. Like, most people that are coming in, they're seeing a builder with microtransactions. They're not seeing, you know, they're not seeing a dark and gritty PvP game, you know. And that's what happens when the identity of your game becomes lost. The very player base itself gets confused with each other, and you start getting in situations like that, you know. And that's what's happening with Tekken right now. Oh shit! What is that? Oh God. What is that? What is that? Yeah, that's the tower. Okay, well, what is this map trying to show me? I was not expecting that. I was like, what the hell is that creature? Look, a werewolf, like a small wolf of some kind. Hmm. Oh wait, that was the wrong thing. Hold on, what was I looking at before? That was the wrong thing I was looking at. Oh, well. I mean, I needed that anyway. I got that. Oh, it's the brick. Okay, I was like, what the hell am I? Okay. I got the brick. Okay, yeah. Oh shit, no, I don't have this. Okay. I do got this though. Okay, so now I just need that. Right? Yeah. Okay. Hold on, let me. Okay, so he ain't out here. Okay, well first and foremost, let me do this. I don't need that. All right. Okay. I do need that brimstone to go to work, so hmm. I'm almost there. What is that about? Oh, some more shit I can't get. So I'm gonna get this well down. And then once I have the well down, a I'll have a forever source of food and water. Because food's right outside the door, along with skins and stuff. I've got access to brimstone right below me, which I'm gonna need the brimstone in order to make steel bars and stuff like that. And I've got plenty of wood, plenty of bark. I got all the necessities necessary to flourish and thrive, and I'll be able to do a lot of Cause like now at this point, I'm just gonna be upgrading my weapons, upgrading my armor pieces, upgrading my stations. At this point, it's gonna be a lot of boring work of upgrading. Cause the castle part is gonna have to come later on once I've gotten access to all of the tier 3 stuff and stuff like that. But like, I've got myself into a position to where now I can move on to the next level comfortably. Move on to the next level of steel and stuff like that with this steel fire going. And of course, it's going to take a minute for all that steel fire, and I'm not going to sit here and stream this whole steel fire going up and all that other stuff. I just want to get the I want to get the actual I want to get this down, and then, you know, there we go. And then just make sure that it is perpendicular. Oh, it's close enough, so it should be all right. Even though it's not letting me see it, it should be all right. But now I have a constant source of water. I have a constant source of water. I got plenty of food. Plenty of steel and plenty of iron, decent amount of brick right now. It's nothing compared to what I do need, but for right now, I got a nice couple of stacks of health, of HP potions. It's doing its thing for the moment. I got plenty of that. And of course I got stuff being turned into fuel here. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and split that. Give me this. Put that right in here like that. I got fuel going. And of course, let me finish cooking all that. All right, we are set and ready to go, man. I got everything set. At this point, I just need to level up. Yeah, at this point, I just need to level up so I can get access to more stuff. And oh, that's right. That's what I needed to do. That's why I was like, hold on. There's something else that it's this. It's this. That's what I was looking for. I needed to make one of those. I was like, wait a second. I was like, I know there was something else. Okay, let me give me this. I'm sorry. This. I don't feel like having it right now. Make 2 of those. Thank you very much. And then I can then take. Give me this. Yeah. Okay. Okay. There. And there. Keep that going. Alright. And there. There we go. Because now I can put fish in there, and I know they took the fish and they made it to where now fish give 1-to-1 on oil, which is going to be great because what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually build an elevator that's going to take me straight down, and I'm going to be able to put what you call it down in there, fish things down in there, and I'll be able to bring my fish on up here and make oil out of them and stuff. So that's going to be great. That's going to be beautiful. And of course, there is something that I always tell people to do, no matter what. Always keep a campfire. Always keep a campfire. And always keep your tools on you when you log out. Always keep a set of tools and a campfire on you when you log out. Because let's say, for instance, if I were to log out of the game, which I'm about to do in a second, and let's say I was to log out, and let's say something catastrophic was to happen in my life, and I wouldn't be able to play the game for a good minute. Everything not on my body is going to disappear eventually. But it can be months, maybe even years. I could come back and everything on me will remain. So all of this stuff will remain on me. All the stuff I have on me. So I can come back to the game even with nothing and have a set of tools, a couple of healing potions, and a campfire to be able to cook and make stuff. Now on a PvP server, you just better hide your body. But on a PvE server, always log out with the set of tools, because can't nobody come and take shit off of you in a PvP server, in a PvE server. So always make sure you have a set of tools and a small campfire as your little survival pack. You know. Now, mind you, in PvP, the best thing to do is to hide yourself. Like I got a character on one of these PvP servers that I've hidden that to this day people ain't found it. Like I can log on to it and I still have all of my gear on. You know. And I don't think I played on that server in like 2-3 years. So if you hide yourself well enough, you can keep all kind of valuable stuff on you and nobody will find it. But I think we've done We haven't done all we could do today, but I think we've done. I think we've done all that really is kind of look how fast that water filled up on that. And now I have a forever source of water up here. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, I'm only level like 29 going on 30. So it's like, you know, at this point I'm self-sufficient. Like, at this point the game itself can't kill me. I would have to like go out of my way to do dangerous things in order to die. At this point. So when again, survival should be a key difficulty, no matter what level you are, no matter how high, no matter how long you played. Survival should still be a tough thing. But in this game, once you reach a certain point, survival is no longer an issue in any form or fashion, and that's one of the things I didn't like. That they focused more on trying to make the game a passive builder than to double down on the survival aspects. And yeah, they didn't. I guess they didn't want pushback from the builders, and they figured that that's where all the money's gonna come from anyway, because everybody will buy different building pieces so they can decorate their homes. But because of that, I mean, at least they chose a side. At least I can say that much. They finally chose a side, but it's just fucked up that they started this game out talking like they were going to make a hardcore PvP experience, and then they just reneged on that in the end. So it's like, it kind of sucks. I mean, it's not a bad game, but again, it is not what people signed up for. But in any case, guys, I'm gonna let the guys say I'm really gaming. I'm gonna get my ass out of here and get me some sleep, because we got more retro games coming up next. I'm still hunting one retro game down. Once I find it and get it, it's coming up next. But I got some other games. I got another Tenchu game I'm gonna show. I got some other stuff going on. I gotta do some leveling in Shadow Hearts, so I can I gotta make some money in that game so I can get these items that I want to get before I keep going in the story. But yeah, we got some more retros coming. And we're gonna do retro until they fix Tekken, and if they don't fix Tekken, then we'll just go to Tekken 7, and I'll make Tekken 7 my man. I'm trying to give them time to fix Tekken 8. If they're gonna fix it, I'm trying to give them time to do so. But if I just see they're not gonna do that shit, I'm just gonna make Tekken 7 the mainstay game on, and we'll just do Tekken 7 online like that, and we'll go from there. Cause I can do that. So, we'll see. But, I'm going to give them a little time, because they say they got a June update coming. So I'm going to give them a month or two. And while that's going on, we'll use the retro games to be the new content for a while, so that I don't keep redoing or rehashing the old stuff. And of course, we'll be doing some Final Fantasy 14 in the meantime. So I'm going to give them a couple of months to fix their game the way they had to do with Cyberpunk and all the other games. I'm going to give them a couple of months. And if that shit ain't up to par, then we just gonna go on to Tekken 7, and we'll do Tekken 7 for another 8 more years. I'm Amon-Rellik, the guys like I'm Amon-Rellik Gaming. We out of here.